Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Gaming with Ruby's Dishonored Near Perfect playthrough. This is going to be the fourth of 6 interludes between missions. There's a surprising amount of new loot that has spawned into the world, and 2 new areas of the Hound pits to explore. One important note I'll make here is that if you're crazy like me and want to get every single piece of loot in the game, do not select going to sleep when Admiral Havelock asks you to. For the second time, there is a river crust, this time off over here. That only exists in the world prior to you bedding down for the night. So we're going to start by going and grabbing it. I should also note that, this is, I think, our only opportunity to explore the Hound pits at night, and it's a really beautiful area. There's a lot of cool lighting effects with that giant moon right there. And so we're going to grab all the loot during the night, at least all the loot that we can. We can't get into that building until the daytime. I'll also note here that unlike the last time we had to travel all the way over here, we now have movement abilities that will allow us to simply jump all the way to where we're needing to get. So there is the river crust, the secret river crust, and she gone. Okay. Now to make our way back to shore. And one more jump. Okay. As before, we're going to start from the top of the building and work our way down. It occurred to me earlier on that I'm probably going to need the keys that I gather in the Hound pits later, because Mission 7 takes place in the Hound pits. So I'm just going to grab that key while I'm here. We're going to go to Emily's room. Oh. Where she is sleeping.
As you can.
We have a Tivian ore here. In Corvo's room, if you found an alternative to killing Lord Pendleton's brothers, at some point during the intervening missions, he figures it out, and he gives us these 2 gold ingots worth 200. Time to head down to the second floor.
All holdings and parliamentary votes now fall to Lord Trevor Pendleton, who asks for
We have a new
respect
key
during
right
this
here,
time of
which is
mourning.
going to get us access to the abandoned apartments back here. We have powdered crystal, medicinal herbs.
Dunwall citizens, be aware that looting of evacuated
In
areas
here,
is a serious offense and will be summoned
hemlock essence.
by officers of the watch. Display
We're going to head down to the bottom floor,
the property and rights of others.
and right outside the front door, we have copper wire. Now let's make our way to the abandoned apartment. This is actually going to be our way of entering the Hound pits during Mission 7. We have hemlock essence. Up here, very well hidden on the top of this shelf, is Imperial Cameo. Processed whale oil. And back here, a bone charm and a Sokolov's elixir if you need it. And I believe that should be everything prior to going to sleep. We should have 16,545. 16,545. Okay. Now we're going to head to sleep. We're awoken by Emily, and we're gonna say the nice thing, since this is a nice playthrough.
I decided to nap here
Or
in your room
nominally.
while Calista was taking her bath. She told me if there's ever trouble, I should always run here.
You can stay here whenever you want.
Calista will come get me when she's done with her bath.
I may as well take these sleep darts. I may need them at some point. Daytime is here. Heading over across the way here. This is where Sokolov's being kept. And there's also some loot in here. As soon as you enter, a conversation starts between the two of them. We're just going to ignore them for now and gather the loot in the room. Here we have what is probably the best hidden piece of loot in the game. You can barely see it there. There's a copper wire. Unless you have dark vision upgraded, you'll probably never find that. I still can't. There we go. There. Okay. Copper wire. Turn that off. Hemlock essence. We've got 3 pieces of loot on the 2nd floor. Medicinal herbs. And 2 Tivian ores. And a Sokolov's if you need it. Alright. We should have 16,635. 16,635. Good to go for the interlude. Just one more thing we need to do. We have 2 options for how to get the information out of Sokolov. We can either buy him some brandy, or we can release rats on him. We're not going to buy him brandy. We would otherwise, but we have a tally of all of the loot in the game, and we're not going to spend any of it. Luckily, it doesn't change anything for our particular rule set. It doesn't knock him out, it doesn't kill him, and it actually doesn't really harm him. He immediately gives up. So we're just going to let the rats have their way with him. That probably increases your chaos level ever so slightly, but considering that we've done absolutely no kills throughout the run, our chaos level is pretty safe. So, we've got our new objective, which is to assassinate Lady Boyle. Pendleton here is going to give us another objective that is optional for the mission. We're actually going to skip that one, despite the fact that it can later give us a rune. Simply because it also requires knocking someone out, and the rune is not counted in any mission statistics. And also, we don't really need all the runes for this playthrough. Actually, speaking of runes before we leave, we have not upgraded anything in a while. There's one bone charm that I really want right here. You move forward slightly faster while in stealth mode. That is, of the runes that we have so far, those 3 are probably the best, the 3 that we have equipped. And I realized after a test run, but like, I think our walking and sneaking speed are exactly the same now. Look at that. So that is going to make a lot of stuff faster. This is in sneak mode. So I like that. Also, powers. We actually have, I've been saving up, I guess. We have 6 runes to spend. I'm going to spend it on the 1st level of Possession and the 1st level of Whirlwind. And I'm probably not going to use those. It'll depend on what I decide during my practice runs, but Possession is something that we really could have been using throughout the run to skip certain areas. Possessing rats and going through crawl spaces would have been really useful in a lot of routes. They just weren't optimal, I don't think, but there will be opportunities, and I may end up using it at some point. Wind Blast is another one that we probably aren't going to use, but it has the ability to, more quietly than using a sword, shatter doors and other objects. And there may be a use for it, especially if there's a situation where we can get through a door that would otherwise require a key. And that'll just allow us to break through the door. It only works on wooden doors, but it may have a use, and because it is useful for a stealth run, we're going to buy it. That leaves us with the Blink upgrade and Possession level 2, which will allow us to possess humans, as really the only things left that will really increase our capabilities as far as a stealth run goes. So my next plan during the next mission is to get Blink, and then I'm going to save up probably for most of the rest of the game for Possession, And that'll leave us with really only one thing left that we absolutely, well, not absolutely need. One thing left that will be a quality of life improvement, which will be agility. That increases, the second level increases our movement speed. So that's the plan for the future. Blink, possession, and agility all will be at level 2. I think there will be enough runes in the run, and even if there isn't, again, it's not really necessary. Runes are not super important, especially for a stealth run. Alright, we're going to talk to Samuel, and we're going to head off to Lady Boyle's mansion.
The Boyle costume ball, huh?